hello, and welcome. My name is Barbara J. Beckley, and this is the first Thursday of the month of August. So, what does that mean? Okay, you're probably saying, what does it mean, Barbara? It means the Diamond Perspective Show. Yes. And we've been gone for a little while, but we are back. We are back with a vengeance. No, I'm just kidding. But we are back. I'm so glad to be back. I'm just going to let everybody know with being in the middle, well, kind of we're still in the middle of the year 2024. I've been talking a lot about giving yourself grace when it comes to your goals right now, because a lot of people are beating themselves up saying, oh, I didn't get to this, or I haven't finished this yet, or I haven't started, or whatever, or I can't even find the list of my goals that I had in January. Hello, been there, done that. I'm telling people to give grace because life happens. And as the young people have been saying, life, or whatever they say now. And it does. So it happened to me. To let everybody know, I had to take I don't know if you want to call it sabbatical or whatever, but it was something that I didn't ask for. Let's just say that. It was a health challenge. And basically, I had to sit myself down and take care of me and do a lot of self-care. So with that, things, sometimes production, all that kind of stuff has to stop for a minute. But I have to give so much love to everybody that watches this show when they can watch it, and so much love to the queens that come on this Diamond Perspective group that creates the panel, because they show so much love to me and, encourage me, pray for me, all of that. So I just want to say from me to all of you, thank you so much, because it really, I'm telling you, it really truly helped. It really showed me, that there's a lot of people that cares about me. And it felt good. Sometimes it feels good to get that back, especially when you're doing your thing and you're just moving and grooving and working, and you never take a step back and say, people really, really, truly, care. So do those check-ins with people. So I'm telling you that, please do check-ins. That's a good way of, especially with mental health. I always tell people, do those check-ins. So with that said, going into our topic for tonight, and I got to bring on the queens for the panel so we can discuss, we're going to be talking about turning your passion into profit. Turning your passion. So I want you to think about what you're passionate about, what you love to do. Even if you were like a little kid and you were like, I just love dancing or whatever. Did you turn it into profit? Did you help somebody else turn it into profit? Maybe you're still thinking about it. I mean, you might be in different avenues with that. So we want to kind of discuss that, because you can love what you do and in your business or at your job. It can happen. So with that said, we will be right back with our panel. I love to dance. Here's our little panel. Well, I don't say little panel, our huge panel. I don't care if we're just 2 people, 1 person, 20 people. Queens are amazing and experts are on the trail today. So with that said, we're going to go right into it. I want to start by having the 2 wonderful queens to tell who they are and their business. And then we'll get more into their business when we talk about passion to profit. But I just want you to say who you are and like your business, name, and then we'll go from there. So I will start. I got to pick. There's so much people to pick from. No, I'm just kidding. I will start with Queen Renee.
Hi, my name is Renee Boudetz, and I'm a realtor. I also sell living trust. My mantra is, if you buy and sell a property with me, that I will give you a living trust for free. I do residential and commercial. And then when I help you with the living trust, I can also make suggestions. I have another license for that. So those are the things that I do. Thank you very much, Barbara. I appreciate it.
Oh, good. I can't wait till we get into that passion, how I got to that. So next, Mrs. Queen Barbara.
Well, hi, everybody. Yeah, I'm Barbara Ellison, founder and CEO of Wellness Playroom for the best version of you. And I am one of the things that I'm passionate about is I work with late career, baby boomers, Gen Xers, late career business professionals. They are facing retirement, and lots of them are also facing stress, burnout, financial insecurity, declining health, and they're like, what am I going to do? I can't, I have to do something. So they come to me and I help them overcome all of those things so that they have their next career as being one of like unlimited wellness in every area of their life. And so it's fun.
Awesome, awesome. And you two do a wonderful job in what you do. And you know why? That's what we're going to find out tonight, because we're talking about the passion, what you love, what you just, you can tell people, well, I would even do it if I wasn't getting paid. Now, you want to get paid. But most of the time, when it's so much of a passion, sometimes you say to yourself, I can do this even if I wasn't getting paid because I enjoy it that much. But we're not giving, to say don't pay them. I just want people to know that. So I want to ask the first question, and I want to take a journey with all three of us, really. Let's start with, what is your passion? Because sometimes passion changes, right? I mean, from teenager to in your 20s and 30s to, 40s and 50s and on beyond that. But sometimes I tell people it can change, but somewhere down the line, it was still something the same, but maybe it changed throughout your years of growth or you've seen different things. So I want to start with Queen Barbara and ask her, just go into your passion part of it, and then, talk about how that bridge, how it got to profit.
Well, you know what? The thing is, though, as a kid, I mean, and that's how lots of times people that I talk to, it's like, well, as a kid, I always wanted to be a teacher. And then in school, I did as part of my curriculum and schooling, I took a student teaching class and hated it. Absolutely hated it. And I realized in that moment that I didn't want to be a school teacher.
Mm.
And yet back then, there wasn't anything other than school teaching. But as I've gotten older, and now so many things are coming out about being I am a transformational life trainer. And it's still teaching, but I'm teaching adults and I'm teaching them how to live their life, not learn ABC. It has just been a complete and utter transformational thing for me that now I love working with the people. And in fact, I was talking to somebody today, and it was like when I see the light bulb go on and
Yeah.
they get it, that something that they learn it and it lands on them for them.
Mhm.
And they know that they can change their life. It is an awesome thing.
Well, Barbara, just to get into a little bit what you said, and I want you to continue. I
Yeah.
like what you said, where you liked teaching at the time when
Oh,
you were younger, and you took the class and everything, and you're like,
yeah.
but that didn't take you away from the teaching
Right.
mentality that you knew that you had, but you were doing it in a different capacity. So I want you to keep going.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And one of the things that I found was that over the years, like people would come to me and go, Barb, could you teach me how to do this? Or, gee, Barb, could you teach me how to do this? And like in all the jobs and things like that, I was always one, oh, you want to learn how to do something? Go to Barb.
Mhm.
Because I had that teacher that I wanted them to learn. I wanted them to learn something, and I wanted them to learn it at their level, not at their level, at their pace, because everybody learns differently. And that was one of, I realize now that it's one of my superhero things, is that I can work with somebody at their pace
Mhm.
and and get it so that they can do it, that they understand it.
Yeah.
And it's like people tell me that all the time. Barb, you're a born teacher. I always wanted to be a teacher, but realized I didn't want to be a school teacher.
Good.
I would not have been a good school teacher,
Yeah.
but I
This
love being a trainer.
and this is a wonderful example of, like you said, looking at the whole
Okay.
teaching, and there's
Yeah.
a whole lot you can do under that umbrella.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you found your spot within that and still did your passion.
And still, right. Because
Yeah.
over the years, people would come to me all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I would hear afterwards, oh yeah, go to Barb.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Barb. She'll teach you that.
Mm-hmm. And you
So
enjoyed it? Yeah.
I love doing it.
Wow.
Still
Wow.
do, and still do.
All this time. All
Yeah.
this time.
And I think one of the things that I've really realized too is I like working with beginners that are just learning something new. Like if it's a tech thing, or like right now I'm teaching a gal to use StreamYard. And it's like just little things like that. It's like I love teaching that, that's I'm a born teacher.
That's awesome. And you know, by teaching, I know you can, put coaching into that, what have you, consultation or whatever. You can use that. Like I said, that's all a big umbrella of that. I like how you said that when you see that the eyes of a person, where you know that that light bulb just came up and said,
Like,
"Oh my God, thank you so much. I didn't know that."
you did right.
I think that's just gets all of our hearts, because now we know there was a transformation in them that you was a part of, because you showed them something. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's and it shows in every aspect of their life.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yes. Well, we're gonna get back to you on some other questions regarding the profit part of it more, but I want to get to Queen Renee and ask her the same thing, lady. So your passion, talk a little bit about your passion, how it branched over and bridged over to your profit, what you're doing now.
Well, for me, I wanted to be the next Barbara Walters. I loved Barbara Walters because she had to find out what made everybody tick. What was it that made them who they were? And I found that so fascinating. And I thought, oh, this is what I want to do. So I went to journalism school. I graduated. It didn't turn out to be, I learned very quickly that you had to know someone in order to really get your foot in the door. The money was horrible. I don't know, I guess I thought it was my passion, but once I learned more about it, I realized it really wasn't what I wanted to do. So then I decided my girlfriend was a barber, and she said, oh, why don't you be a barber? I said, okay, I can do that. So I went to barber school, got my license, and cut hair for a couple of years. And then I realized, this is not my passion either. So I didn't know what to do. So I ended up working in an office, became the office manager, full charge bookkeeper, did that kind of stuff for a while. And then I thought, this is just not it. And I just started praying. I said, God, help me figure this out. What is it? Where do I need to be so that I can help people? Because that was really my desire, was to help people. And I ended up, my answer was I needed to get into the real estate field. So I did 36 years ago. Wow. And I absolutely loved it. Like some of the things that Barbara said, my style of being a realtor is an educator, because if I can teach you about the business and all the things that pertain and relate to real estate, your family's dynamics. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But if I can educate you so that you can make an educated decision, right? That makes all the difference in the world, because then when, where, how, why, if you can, all the different questions can get answered. So that was where I found my passion. And I loved seeing people, like you said, when the light bulb comes on and they really understand what it is that you're trying to share with them and teach them. So, it's been
journey,
a lot of years. I decided that during COVID, I decided to write 6 books. So I did 6 books about real estate. Because I do residential and commercial, I did a little bit of both. So I've continued, like through the years, I've got a couple licenses. I've been a realtor for 36 years, had another license since 2000, so 24 years. And I started selling living trust. And I just, I wanted to be a full service agent, got another license, my insurance license, so that when I did a living trust for people, I could look and see, where their money was placed. And I would always ask permission if I could share with them something that I learned. And some said yes, some said no. And if I did, I'd see where they were losing money and I could make suggestions, or if they're getting ready to retire, or a lot of clients I had that were getting ready to retire. Or if they were younger, things that they could do, and types of insurance that was important. And some people loved it, some people didn't, but all in all, it was really good. It's just educating people, and it's all about money. It's about money, and having budgets so that you can accomplish different things in your life, and have the real estate. Then you get protected with a living trust, and then your living trust also is going to share what type investments that you're making, that they're really good and strong investments for your family. And I just love it. I just love it that I've continued to learn, and I can teach and educate and share with people, and so that they have, that's the biggest American dream, is having your own house, and it just it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I've had some really amazing clients through the years that have become friends and included me in their lives, and really it has blessed me. I can't even tell you how much. I really do love it.
Yeah. Well, I can see the excitement as soon as you start talking about the real estate part, when you finally found that golden nugget for yourself, and it just, you
Yes.
just lit up, and you just, when you know a person is passionate about something, what they love something, is you can see them light up. They'll talk about it, have no problem saying anything. And that's what you did, Queen. And I like what you took us on. You took us on a journey. And a lot of us go through that. Some people might know their passion right away, get into it and do it for whatever decades, right? Some people, you have to go through different scenarios in your life to say, that didn't work. Oh, maybe this is one. Yeah, that didn't work either. Maybe this one. And that is okay, because
Right.
I really commend people that do that instead of just settling, or just saying, well, you know what, I might as well just do this, because people will be looking at me like, why you keep changing up, or da, 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 da. Don't even think about that, because you have to live with yourself. I always tell people, you have to do stuff for you to live with yourself every day. They're not going to be with you every day. They don't know what you're trying to do, especially for the world with your gift. Now, I know one thing, Queen Renee, that I believe you first said that your biggest thing was, okay, here's some background, sorry. The biggest thing that Renee said, that I feel like her main passion, when she said, I wanted to know how people, what makes people tick. Okay. And then she thought, Barbara Walters, love Barbara Walters, journalism, but she still did her passion, if you think about it, Queen, within real estate. Because with talking to people about their dream of having a home, you have to see what they're about. You can't just say, well, you should get this house, get that house. You got to get to build a relationship. You got to get to know that person. You got to get to see what they really want. Because it's not about you just selling a house. It's about selling their dream house to them, and what they want to see in that, or what they've been imagining or thinking about. So you fulfill basically like your little main passion, because you have to find out how people, what makes them tick when it comes to, selling real estate.
I think it's asking a lot of questions and not being afraid to, ask some maybe delicate questions for some people. Whenever you're talking about money, some people are good with it, some people aren't. But it is creating a relationship. That's, and they have to trust you, and they have to see. I mean, for example, I remember going to buy a car, and all these car salesmen come at you. They're like vultures, and you just, I never wanted to sell that way, or be that hard pressure. You got to buy, I don't operate that way at all. I pray before every client. Those that are Christians, we pray together. We pray over the offer. We pray over a lot of things. And I think that it has made, as through the years, I've realized that the more I've learned, the more I've dug in, the more I've asked, it has helped me to create this full-rounded set of information that I can use to help my clients. And they genuinely see that I care, and that I have learned something to help them, So it really has benefited me in the long run. But you're right. I really thought I was going to be the next Barbara Walters. That was my dream, And it was very disappointing when it didn't, when I found out all the things that I found out, it was really disappointing. I was kind of like, oh, now what do I do?
Yeah,
But
you're the Barbara Walters in real estate.
exactly. I like that. Thank you, Barbara.
You're the Barbara Walters in real estate. I would buy a house from you in a heartbeat because I know that you care and you're going to see what I want. And that's what it's all about when you're building relationships, and anything you do in your passion to profit is building those relationships and really caring about the person. So you do that. So you are the Barbara Walters of real estate. we deem you, crown you today.
Never thought of it like that. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a little thing that I wanted to say to you too, is that the thing is, Renee, you try, as Barb said, you tried so many things. So often people will stop after the first one or two, and then spend the rest of their life going, oh, I wish I had had enough, let's, for lack of a better word, guts to try something else.
Yeah.
And so I just absolutely want to commend you, because that's one of the things that I work with people, is that just keep looking. Don't, as Barb said, don't settle. And that is so cool. And that is such a phenomenal thing for people to hear, because sometimes they think that they're the only ones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That they,
and there are other options. You're absolutely right. There's other options. And
always options. When I look back at all the ththings that I have tried, oh, that didn't work. Oh, as Barb says, oh, that didn't work. Wow. And and some of them were, maybe I shouldn't have even have tried that one. But you know what?
I've done that too.
Because sometimes it's just as important to know what you don't want.
Yes.
As it is. And that's what happened to me a little bit after my husband passed away. I knew what I didn't want. And yet, right at that moment, I didn't know what I did want. But I was willing to go out and look to find what I wanted. But at the time, for a while there, I knew what I didn't want, but I had no idea what I did want, and that's okay.
And that's okay. And I'm glad, Barbara, you brought that up, because now we talked about our passion. We talked about how you turn it into profit. Now I want to talk about challenges. And what I mean by challenges is what kind of challenges that you have had or thinking about in your passion, turn it into a business, and how to overcome them. And I want to use an example because everybody has their own values, their faith belief. All of us as women here, I know right now we believe in God, we believe in Christ, and we're Christians, and we have that faith. Well, everybody that you're going to run into in your business might not have the same or not think the same as you. And you know what? That's okay, because that's their thing, right? But you want to make sure that you're doing you within your passion, your values that you believe in, and it goes into your business. What kind of challenges have you had where, with your values compared to your business?
I'll start for a second. One of the things that I found for myself, I was sometimes, you're brought up to be a certain way, and you're brought up and you're brought up in your family, and you're brought up, and I realized that I was trying to live my life through someone else's lens. And it wasn't that I had a great family, but we were just slightly different. I was slightly different than the rest of the family. And when you run into that, and because so often people get caught in, it's a family business, or this is what we've always done it this way. Well, yeah, but that might not be your way. And once in a while that can be challenging, because you have to then listen to, well, what do you think? What are you doing? But what's the rest of the family going to say if you do that? And all so then you get into like the naysayers. that, are you real? Are you sure? That oh, Barbara, you are just crazy. What do you think you're doing? All of those things. And if you are not passionate, if you have not found your passion, you will let them sway you
Mm.
until you get so strong. Like
Mm.
nothing can stop me from being a coach,
Mhm.
from being a transformation, and from being a speaker. Nobody can stop me from doing that
Mhm.
because I'm grounded in it now. It didn't have, but it comes back to what you said at the beginning. And give yourself some grace. If you're still learning, okay, fine. Just, hey, I'm still learning this, but leave me alone. I'm still learning, you know?
I like how you said, Barbara, leave me alone.
Leave
Leave
me
us
alone.
alone. We're still
Still
learning.
learning.
But yeah,
It's,
it's okay. So
But
I
life
like,
is a journey of learning, right? I mean, isn't that what we do every day?
yes.
What
It's,
I mean, about every and any subject, it doesn't really matter. We're
Mhm.
constantly learning. God's constantly putting different situations in front of us, and we have to learn how to deal with that. And I want to say, Barbara, to you, Barbara Ellison, that I love to see the passion in you because you light up when you talk about what you do.
Yeah.
And it is, it's really, when you have problems or you have somebody that you need to talk to, it really helps that you have somebody that loves to help you, because you
right.
can tell that you're somebody that loves to help people.
Yeah.
It's in your nature. And you also, Barbara Beckley, I see it in both of you. So I just wanted to share that with you and say it's really a joy to be on a panel with both of you ladies that, love what they do and can share with other people and are here to educate and help and do it from your heart with love and grace, right?
Right.
Because we
Exactly.
have to have grace for others as well as ourselves. And I think that makes the difference, because there's a lot of real estate agents out there that do what I do, but not all of them come from a place of love and a place of really caring and want to not just do one thing but do a couple things that take care of the legalities once they've purchased a home and are covered, from all different angles. And I think that that makes me a little bit different. And I like to be different. I don't like to be normal in the box. They've been talking in politics. I've heard the word weird has been coming out. And some people are claiming it. I may be weird to some people too, and I'm okay with that. It just means that I'm not the every this the stereotype of everybody else. I'm something completely different, and I love it. And I think you ladies are the same. I just think it's okay to be a little weird if that means I'm outside the box and I have faith and I can pray and ask God to help me with what I'm doing. Like for me, COVID really interrupted my game completely, shut me down.
Mhm.
And that was you talked about struggles that whoo, and it's still not what it used to be. Now the market is really changing again. So it is difficult, but it is doable. And it's just being able for others to know that you're there. A lot of times people don't know you're there. So uh, I think that's really important, word of mouth and all those good kind of things. But in my struggle, when I had nothing, I could do nothing because we were not essential workers during
Mhm.
COVID. That's when I wrote the 6 books. I thought, well, I need to do something to keep myself busy. And so that's when I did those. And I did one for buyers, sellers, for sale by owner, if someone's house doesn't sell, so they can understand why. And then I did one for commercial, and I did one for couples going through a divorce. So, because those are challenging, all different little challenges in within the industry.
Mhm.
And I have a free book for someone if they're interested, and that's their problem. And they're welcome to ask me for a book, and I can be happy to take it to them and so they can read it and understand what's going on.
Well, I love. I wanted to go back because I'm glad both of you. Oh, I hear background echoes. That happens at times. That's why we're live, right? I'm so glad between both of you queens that you brought up some of, like I said, the challenges when it comes from passion to profit. Because the biggest thing I heard too is, first of all, we're forever learning. I always tell people we're forever learning. My mistakes, I have learned so much, and I know we all been there. So that's one thing. Another thing is be you, like Renee said, like Queen Renee said. Words like weird, crazy, whatever, like that. to me, in that sense, to me, is that's your uniqueness coming out of who you are. And everybody has something different. Like Renee said, you can have a whole bunch of real estate people, but each one of them has some different kind of character or some different person or something in them that brings them out a little bit different than the other one. And that's okay. That's what makes life beautiful, is that you have all different rays of personalities, people, everything, to learn and grow from. The other challenge I kind of heard too was doing the same thing that the past people have done, maybe within a business, that a home family business. Well, it was done that way. We just keep doing it. We just keep doing it. Somebody has to step up and say, well, hello, maybe we need to do something a little bit different here. This is 2024. That was back in 1985. At that time, we didn't know about typewriters. I mean, we had typewriters. We didn't have cell phones back then. Now you got a person, AI, talking to you. So you have to be open to change and look at I want to say the culture, everything that's going on around you, to see where you need to make that change. And I think, like you said, during COVID, really all of us had to make that change in a huge way. And between all the three of us on the screen right now, I'm so proud of us, because we didn't sit there and say, woe is me, I'm at home, I can't go out nowhere, so I'm just going to sit here. No, you became authors. You educated people online. You met people globally. I mean, you've been in summits online. You did your own summits, maybe. You did your own podcast. You created your new podcast. You created something different. Your uniqueness came out. Your creativity came out. So please pat yourself on the back for that. So, and then you looked at your passion probably in a different way, because you had to. Some things happen sometime where it's like, even if I don't want to do this, I got to think of something, because I got to keep living. So I was saying all that because even through the challenges, I just want people to understand that keep pushing. Barbara said that earlier. Don't let stuff stop you from doing what you want to do just because there's a challenge. It's a learning spot. And then sometimes you got to create boundaries. So I want to talk about that. I want both of you queens, before we wrap up, creating those boundaries in your passion to profit. Don't let somebody take it and run with something, and you're like, okay, I'm not feeling passionate about this anymore. Why not? See, that's the question you have to ask yourself. If you're doing your passion to profit, and then all of a sudden your passion is dull or is going low while you're doing your business, you have to ask the question, what's happening here? So I want to go to Barbara with that, and then I'm going to go to Queen Renee.
I was just thinking, sometimes people get so caught up in what they do that they forget to be who they are. And there is so often that we're taught, and it's a generational thing. And I know I've said this before, but so often people get caught up in if I do this, and when I do that, I will have this. And when I have this, then I'll be this. You will know, you gotta, that's backwards. You've got to be who you are meant to be first, because then you can, like, for myself, I want to be happy. I want to do life in all of its shapes and sizes and challenges and victories. I want to do life. And then once I do life, I'm going to have everything, because I'll have joy and passion and purpose and all of those things. And what happens so often is that people get stuck because they start to do if I do this, if I hustle and I grind and I do this, and I'll do more and more, and but I'm not getting it. Okay, then I'll just do more. I'm talking to somebody here.
Yes.
Stop doing that. Doing more is not the answer. Getting in touch with to be first. And that's an internal job. It's not out here. It's not out there. It's not in your family. It's not in your employers. It's not in anything out here. It is totally in here. Yes. Be Well, like we've said it a couple of times, be you. Internalize that. Be you. Then once we, because we all, I think we all have a vision of what we want our future you to look like. You know, like if we're thinking to ourselves, well, I know what what I want my future person to be, but we don't take the time to do it. So that's one of the things that I really work with people. Who are you right now within what you do? And it's such a telling question. And if they will stop and say, "Oh, that's a good question," and then they can start the internal.
Yeah.
We have, it's like we have that internal compass, and like if we're in business, we have an internal business partner who will tell us, that okay, go to the right, you can go to the right or you can go to the left, but ooh, no, maybe you should just go straight ahead and listen to that. So yeah, I think that is one of the biggest things, is to be, because then you'll be happy, you'll do life, and you'll have everything, whatever that means to you. For some people, that means making $5,000 a month and having a condo on the beach. For other people, it's they want to make $1 million and have a mansion. But it's up to you, because when you know who you are, what's going to make you happy.
Yeah. Love it, love it. So Renee, I want to ask you the same, turning your passion to profit and making sure that you're creating boundaries to keep you passionate about what you do and not letting somebody lower it, or people, places, or things. Give me your take on that.
I would say, I think staying focused, you talk about boundaries, not listening to the naysayers or listening to your own brain when you get into that, when you start feeling sorry for yourself and you have a pity party. And I allow myself to have a pity party once in a while, but for a day or two, and then that's it. You got to get up and keep moving. Otherwise, you can stay there a little longer than you planned. And COVID, definitely, I had a few of those pity parties.
We all had.
Yeah, because income just went, just like came to a dead halt. And so I think that for me, the biggest boundaries is just listen, just pray and listen. And at this point in my life, I am old enough to pretty much know better, I'm not saying I'm perfect by any stretch, but I know the difference between right and wrong. And if I know that somebody is really negative and they're speaking negative, or I can't, or I won't, or I just try not to put myself in those situations where I have to hear things like that. And then if I do, then I have to go home and really spend some time in the Word, because then I have to remember who God says I am.
Right.
Because sometimes I may think something about myself, but then I have to really remember that, and getting into the scriptures and really finding out, who does God say I am? And then I have to remember that, I know that I'm coming from a great place, that I'm coming from the place of love and education and wanting to help people sincerely. And I feel that that's really important, that people need to feel that. And if they don't, they're not going to work with you, because you can choose many different people, and for many things, even like what both of you ladies do, there's people have choices. And if they don't feel your sincerity and that you're genuine and you truly want to help them, and you've had some education behind you, like for myself, 36 years, I've learned a lot. And in my field, I don't care if I've got 50 years. Every single transaction is new people and new situations, new agents, a different house, all different circumstances. So it can be a challenge. One deal can be a serious challenge. Another deal can be a walk in the park. I've sold a house in the dark. I mean, they just fall into your lap every once in a while, right? You get something that just falls in your lap and you don't have to work really, really hard. But there's others that are just really challenging. And even sometimes the client or the agents, and, I just pray my way through it. Really, I feel like that's what keeps me going. And, because we can all get down and discouraged. I think it's easy to do, especially in the world we live in and the politics of the day, and all the people that don't really believe in God, and on and on and on. So that's for me. That's what I do when I get in all those sticky situations. Is I just spend time in prayer. I open up the Bible, I read the Word, and ask God to just to love on me and remind me who I am in Him. And I think that's how I do it.
Awesome. And just to add to that, because like I said, again, we're all ladies of, we believe in God. But people need to find their own, I call it their own anchor. Yep. So you need to find your own anchor in your life that's going to keep you, like you said, to that point of continuing your passion, continuing what was made in you, the gift that's in you, uniqueness in you, to continue that. Don't let the naysayers, all that's going to come. I'm just going to tell everybody, if it hasn't came yet, it's coming. And if it has came already, you know what we're talking about. There's going to be people always going to be. And then the biggest one is ourselves. Just Renee even said it. Sometimes we are in our own head doing that. And we got to remind ourselves who we are, and your anchor, like for our anchor, is the Word of God. Somebody else's anchor might be in a different, sense. They might go meditate, or they might do other things. But you need to know what works for you for your anchor, to keep you going in your passion and your purpose. That all falls together when you're doing your profit to it, when you're doing your business. Because when at the end of the day, as Renee and Barbara said, we want to help others. We want to see that light that comes in their eyes and say, wow, I learned something new. We want to see them move forward in life. So that's what it comes down to. So what we're going to do, because I know with time, I want to make sure that I give lasting thoughts from each of our queens here. We're going to do a quick break. And then when we come back, I'm going to have the queens do their lasting thoughts, and then how you can get in touch with them. So we will be right back. We got to show some love to the sponsors. They always want us to show that love. So I want to make sure we do that.
Raise your hand if you've ever been busy. Raise your hand if you've ever got tired and feel like you just need a couple days off. Most people would have both hands up right now. That's our world, fast-paced and income-driven. That's why we get caught up in our own lives so often, and that's why it's understandable when most people don't focus on worries that aren't their own. So what makes someone become a humanitarian? Someone whose whole life focuses on the welfare of other humans.
When you go back and you see kids that were living on the streets, kids had no structure, they had no routine, people who had nothing, they didn't have meals. When you see that all of a sudden they're waking up, they have structure, they have something to do, they have a meal in their belly, their life changes completely. They, like I said, their self-esteem changes, their self-worth, their ability to know who they are in the world and what they have the potential of becoming. To give that hope, to give that dream, and then to watch people actually use that to do good for themselves and others it's amazing. It becomes an addiction.
And with Serena's help, we'll find the meaning of life to a humanitarian.
And we're back. If you're just chiming in, we're just basically getting down to the wire here with the Diamond Perspective show, with the wonderful queens that come on, the experts, the panel, discussing different topics of life. Today, we were talking about turning your passion, turning what you love, your purpose, everything in you, if it's changed, but still you just love it, and then turn it into profit, turn it into your business. Or even if you work, I'm going to put it out there, even if you work in corporate, there's a lot of things you can look within whatever that umbrella is. And maybe you just like, working there, but doing what you love within that corporate area. So I don't want just people thinking, we're talking about businesses because we all have our own business too. But I also don't want to leave out people that might have their passion in what they do for a corporation, because a lot of people do that. People don't stay on, because I know in the job, my day job, because I do both. I have my business and I have a corporate job. People don't stay on over 20, 30, 40 years just because. Somewhere down the line, I always tell them, you must have loved this somewhere to stay on for that long. And I had to talk to a few people today at my job that was like, oh, I'm celebrating 40 years being here. I'm like, wow. Wow.
Mhm.
So, I got to commend them for that. So with that, we want to just, we're going to just let our queens leave anything they want to leave for the audience. We always want to make sure that we're giving you something that you can take and maybe you can, do something in your life with it. So I'm going to start with Renee, Queen Renee, Barbara Walters of the real estate world. And we're going to get her some last thoughts. And then also, Renee, when you're done with your last thoughts, just let them know how they can reach you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you, Barbara, because I really appreciate you having me on. And it is interesting to hear, I know I've listened to you and Barbara, both Barbaras here. It's really interesting to hear how people came to be who they are and where they are today. All of us are a little bit older. We're not spring chickens anymore. And I think we've had a few years under our belt to learn and go through some of these challenges, and thank goodness, because I like being older in the fact that I'm more settled and I understand and I don't always like little aches and pains, things like that, which come with getting older, but I do appreciate the wisdom and the knowledge and the grace that I'm grateful to be on. And as far as reaching me, let's see, the best way to reach me, I guess, was to give you an email address, because I was told I shouldn't put a phone number out here. So I'm just going to give you an email address that is, my name is Renee Bubetz. So it's my first initial R and my last name, Bubetz, R Bubetz, Bubetz. And then it's 1024 at gmail.com. So I'm going to repeat that one more time. It's R Bubetz, and you can see my name is on the screen, 1024 at gmail.com. Send me an email. Let me know you're interested. You'd like to have a conversation. Leave me a phone number if you'd like. I will call you. And if you're interested in one of the books that I shared, that I told you about, please let me know. I'd be happy to get one to you. So thank you so much, everybody, for the opportunity. And thank you for listening. And God bless you all.
Thank you, Queen Renee. And before you sign off, we're going to hear from Queen Barbara and wrap it up from there.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things that I think that is just so important is just surround yourself with people who think the way you do about what you do. Find other people who are passionate about what you do and then collaborate with them. Do things with them. It's because it's support, and it's just knowing that you're not the only crazy one, because some people are going to try to tell you that you're the crazy one. Don't believe them. Surround yourself with other people who are passionate about what you do. It's kind of like finding your own tribe.
Yes.
Finding your own tribe. And how you can get in touch with me is I put a bit.ly link in the chat. And you can share that. And in that, you'll find there's an ebook, Living Outrageously. And it's just a book on health and things that you can do that way. Or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm just Barbara Ellison and Wellness Playroom. So it's feel free. I love chatting with people and to just see where you're at. And especially if you're having a hard time, that people are giving you, or other people are giving you a hard time. And I am all for supporting each other. So,
yes. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. As always, a magnificent show. And I'm just not saying that because I'm a part of it. I'm saying that because I feel like it's true. When you can bring ladies, queens, as I call all the ladies, together to share their uniqueness, to share their passion, to share the purpose, what they do, to share the love that they put out there for others. It just blows my mind away. And that's why I love doing this show once a month. I don't know. I'm going to tell you two queens right now, this is coming hot off the press from me. This might be need more than just once a month.
Yeah.
Just kind of throwing it out there. maybe at least twice a month,
Yeah.
But yeah, I think
I'm
that
good with that.
put it out there, Renee.
Mhm.
You never know. But I just really just love how we come together, and we just, just each and every one of us is this uniqueness that is just amazing. So I want to just leave real quickly that, like we said tonight, no matter what, I don't care what anybody says about you. It depends on what you say about yourself.
Yeah.
And as a believer and as having faith in God, really what God believes in who you are. So it is very important to make sure that you always stand for yourself all the time. And you know what? Maybe some days you might feel like Renee said, if you're having a bad day or you're having that pity party or whatever, come to one of us. Believe me. We'll lift you up.
Done that.
We got to be there for each other. So yes, reach out. Renee, she'll be the, Barbara Walters, she'll sit there and talk you into the house. Barbara will sit there, be in the playroom. Next thing you know, you're like, oh my God, I feel so much better now. So and I'll come in and just show visibility and just be like, you're amazing. So between the three of us, that frown will come into a smile.
We can handle it, right? Mm-hmm.
So with that, we will see everybody next month in September with another wonderful topic. And always remember, the diamond perspective is always about giving perspective, not just for yourself, but for others in the world to help them. Show that love. We'll see you next
Let your light shine.
All right. God bless you.
Camera action. Elevating your business visibility on video. Hi, my name is Barbara J. Beckley, and I'm your purpose and visibility strategist. And I have created an amazing workshop just for you, unlocking the power of video for your business. Join me in an interactive workshop. Now, you're probably asking yourself, okay, Barbara, thanks for telling me to join you, but what's in it for you, right? Well, there's 4 basic benefits that I have found for this workshop just for you. First, increase your credibility. Establishing your brand as an authority in your industry. Being well known for what you do. Second, drive more sales. Turn those viewers, turn those spectators into growing your revenue as customers. 3, boost your engagement. Build that loyal community and drive people to your social media that will give you those clicks. And not only just click on what you do or your video, but make sure they get to be in your world. And again, being a client of yours. And then 4, stand out. Your uniqueness is your prize, is your secret sauce, as I tell people. And people need to know what that is. So you level that first impression by having your own video. Plus, you will get a workbook from me that you can take. We will work through it during our interactive workshop, and you'll also be able to take that away. You will get other tools to help you succeed in making sure that you are unlocking the power of your video for your business. Sign up today. It's to start elevating your business visibility with video. Who's this for? You might ask. Business owners, marketers looking to elevate their brand, to bring your brand to that next level. What to expect? Within a 2-hour interaction learning, you have actionable, we will put you to work, insight and valuable takeaways. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today. And remember, your business should always be lights, camera, action. See you at the workshop.